So that was beautiful what you shared. I could see that in your face and the way you were smiling while talking about dance and all those gestures that your body was naturally creating when you were speaking. Like, you're so expressive with your self. You were like, it's given me, and that was enough for me to like feel what you're saying. It's given you, it's given you some sort of holding, a coziness. It's like a warm hug. It's given you what in clinical terms is called like a safe space. And it also feels like when you have that safety, you're able to embrace yourself, explore yourself, maybe hold parts of yourself that you feel like were not given an expression or space or held outside, but they needed to be held and seen. And yeah, I could just feel all that when you were sharing. Does that resonate? Does that feel, yeah?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'll describe it in this one way I
Yes,
described it to my teacher once.
please,
Like, it
please.
feels like I'm so tiny. I'm like one little pea, and then I'm just covered with all of this mud,
Mm,
so many layers.
mm,
And like dance sort of feels like I'm able to thoda thoda not feel only the mud and like feel more of that little pea inside me.
mm,
So that's how I'm able
mm.
to feel myself at all. That's how it used to feel like.
That's such
And
a, yeah, go on, sorry.
yeah, no, like, yeah. And like now I think like that stayed even if I haven't, really danced or done anything like
Mm,
that. But
mm,
now I am just more and more me, or like maybe that pea has grown in size or something like
mm.
I think.
Yeah. So you know what the image that this is creating for me, or the image that you've created is like how it's expressing to me is, you know, um, there's so much of density around. Like when you say mud and a pea, I feel like is soft and the mud is pretty dense and it's not, and the way when you say mud around, I feel like it's not about like the mud being good or bad or toxic or not, or like it's just there's just so much going on, so much density around that little pea. Maybe it's lost, maybe it's not feeling itself because the pressure of the mud is like a lot. And then, but something from inside starts coming alive, I guess, within the pea when you, in simple terms, I would say coming into your body. And then the little pea starts to feel itself. And this is so beautiful. I feel like you're saying that once you felt yourself, you can't unfeel it, even though you haven't practiced for a couple of years. You remember that experience. It stayed with you, like who that little pea is. Yeah, it's beautiful. Um, how what did you have in mind when you already said a lot, but is there anything else you had specifically in mind for the session today? And are there any questions you want to ask me before we've already started the session that way, but any questions you have for me?
Um, I was always very interested to know about like movement therapy, somatic therapy, dance therapy, but
Mm,
somehow I've just never like gotten to actually research about it. So I actually have very little to no idea about what it is about.
mm,
But my therapist told me that I am like a kinesthetic person and more
mm,
like body practices or like breath work or just like more physical
mm,
will help me a lot more than just talk therapy or something
mm,
like that. So this is just something that I've been wanting to explore for a really long time. And
mm,
I don't think I have any like anything that I'm coming in with.
mm,
But yeah, like except like curiosity, I guess.
mm. So. I want to say that you've already got the nus of what it is. You already, like with the way you've described your experience with embodiment and dance, you have the nerve. Uski nas pakad li kehte hain na. So you understand what it is at the core. Other things are all, I would say, sort of fluff to survive in the mud. Like
Okay.
in the sense that that's how this world works. You create education around it. As a therapist, there's a lot that you need to know to try navigate the systems, to have a structure so that you can do the work. So, so the rest of it is that, but what you described is exactly what it is at the core of things. So with all the other things that are that people like me are educated with is to be able to have that structure and hold that space. So at the core of it, it's that, so that we can provide that. What is that? That is like, I feel like you have the sense of your relationship with the body and what it does for you, but you don't have the exact words to describe it, but you know it in experience and what it can do for you. That's at the core of it. So that's amazing. Um, is there anything you want to ask me specifically about me?
Can you tell me a little bit more about the therapy part of
Yeah.
dance movement therapy? Yeah.
Okay. Um, again, maybe I wasn't clear enough when I said that you already have understood the core of it. So, when the therapy part of it is that I'm going to take that example or the image of the pea and the mud again. For you have a certain experience of what it is like to be that pea, and each one of us, and I actually understand the image that you gave me in my own way. But just because of my therapist training, I'm also looking at like I'm able to see the many options of the experience of the pea. But at the end of the day, only you would know. So if you were to give that image to another person, that the other person's experience of that pea will be different. And so, and the mud around would also like be different. So let's say, okay, let's use that image to work more and look at the therapy part of it. Uh, if you were to embody today, today, what does the pea feel like? Can you describe it to me a little bit? Today, now, in this moment.
Mm, I think it's like not completely, I'm able to feel it.
Mm,
And I am able to feel the density of the mud. And
okay.
like so many days, so many weeks of it.
Mm,
But I can also feel the lightness of the bee as
mm,
well.
okay.
Yeah.
So, so now you did this when you were describing the pea, and then you when you said the density of the mud, you actually pushed. So, it feels like you want some space created. You do feel the lightness of the pea somewhere, but you want to create space. I don't know. It feels like you want to create some sort of expansion.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe. you can explore that in words right now, or we can just start to move what expansion feels like. I can guide you with something, but I feel like you also intuitively, your body does movement. So let's see and I'm just exaggerating what you did, and I'm literally creating space. But let's, what would creating space be like? So with dance movement therapy, uh, you have a background in theater or at least some interest. So this won't feel completely odd to you, like just enacting
Hmm.
the feeling in whatever way without judging. So go for it, and we'll follow each other. What does that density feel like, and what are you?
I think like that density, and the reason maybe I call it mud, and this is
Mm,
the because the mud is pretty much lifeless. That's why I
mm,
can't really feel it, but I can feel the pee. But the mud is like, I feel like that's also what gets in the way of me being able to feel the pee.
mm,
And um yeah, I think that lifeless part is the main thing about the mud. Like I even the part about me being so much in my head, I feel like is me somewhere being in the mud or something, like me not really being here in my body in this room with the people around me or whatever. And that just happens so much. And because I don't move, because I can't do anything, I feel like literally physically also my body has now become a lot more.
mm. Yeah. So, like the mud can be suffocating. You can't breathe through the mud. People are buried. People when they like die is when, but then also you're describing like a seed. So I feel like you're describing both experiences. Does the So there are two things that come to my mind. Maybe both are true, maybe neither are true, maybe one of them are true, but tell me what resonates more with you. So there was this idea of like creating some space. Do you feel like you want to create breathing space? Because it's just getting too. And then does it need, so like if, you know, like for a seed to putna, under say putna, and then it can find its way through the mud. So is that something that you might be looking for? You still feel the lightness. Are you wanting to burst open and then navigate your way through the mud? Or are you feeling suffocated and cannot breathe and stuck? Not not being able to, like, maybe it's about like breaking that outer layer and then you know
I think there is definitely some breaking or like pushing against the mud happening because like in my mind that mud is not completely dry but not completely wet either, and it's like cracky, crinkly, and there is space to move in it, but i need to I need to move
Okay,
to make that
let's
space.
move. Let's
Yeah.
move. Okay, I'm going to actually guide you through something. You can follow me here. Um, so let's become that um the maybe stay in that feel free to also not follow me exactly, and I'll find a way to follow you. But so I am that bee. What is my color? And how is my breath? What is at the center of me? How soft am I? How hard am I? And I'm feeling that I'm covered in mud. I'm resting on mud. Gravity is true. I'm resting on the mud below me, but there's also mud above me, all around me. And what do I want to do from here next? So, how do I want to move? I'm going to look at you and follow. Allow yourself to intuitively move, and then we'll see later, talk about it later. I see a small rocky motion, side to side motion. Mm. Maybe the pea is feeling itself more and slowly spreading. So the center opened. There is a rested spreading. I'm seeing lengthening. Mm. Mhm. Maybe you're feeling what's around. Mm. Okay. You opened your chest up. Not now, later. Later. What is above you? Sorry.
There's like, now it feels like I have wiggled and shaken around some of the mud surrounding me. So
Mm.
it's like it's become more barik chura and it's like
Mm.
space
Mm.
all around me. So I
Mm.
can move and feel myself more.
Mm. Uh, say more, say more. What is coming up? How are you feeling? What might have shifted in your mood? Something has shifted. What has shifted?
I think just the act of stretching and expanding and taking in deeper breaths and breathing within that expansion that is feeling like earlier I was feeling like, oh, I'm only able to feel a little bit of the pee, but not all of it. But
Mm,
now I can feel a little bit more of it just because that breath and that
mm,
stretch has reached some parts of my back, some extension in arms, in my legs,
mm,
which otherwise only happens if I'm like, I've been like this for too long and I'm already in pain, and then I have to do all this to just move it.
mm, mm,
But yeah, right now it's feeling like more free, but still like
mm,
the breathing is very shallow. Like this, I
mm,
have to get it all the way here.
mm,
And there is restriction in the back,
mm,
and yeah, and there is
mm,
still like it feels like there's still so much headiness and so
mm,
much just thinking being in my head that
mm,
um that kind of like stops me from being out
mm.
here.
What do you think that you're thinking about right now? In what way were you in your head in the last couple of minutes?
Uh, in the last couple of minutes, I was more with my body and with the movement. But
Mm,
then, like, as soon as I've stopped moving, my breath has also become much smaller. And then
mm,
just background, thoughtless thoughts about whatever is coming in the day, in the week,
mm,
whatever to be a little on my toes about. Like
mm,
anything that's about to happen comes with some stress, and all
mm,
that is just fuzzily there. Like there's nothing in particular, but just like there's not this sense of expanding and being in the world,
mm,
in the world that I imagine the world as, like
mm,
my world is not just my daily life, it's also
mm,
so much more beyond that. But all of that I'm not really able to be a part of because of
mm,
heaviness.
mm. And uh, we could just work with this like in a general way, or we could pick one instance that feels like this, where you're not able to expand and be yourself, where I think there is a desire to be yourself, but it's not happening. So, would you like to talk about one instance or situation, or keep the conversation in like the general realm?
Mm, I can I can talk about one instance, but I we can keep then being in the general M too because I feel like it's so everywhere that
Mm,
um like I am like I feel like so I moved away from home and
mm,
I'm for the first time since the last since like August this year.
mm,
And like I was looking forward to it for so many years. I wanted to live on my own terms and all of that. And I'm able to do that now. But it's also come with so much to do that um I also don't know how quickly I shift between the doing and then having to just disconnect and dissociate like automatically because everything is too much. And then
Mm-hmm.
for how long am I just disconnected and dissociated while I'm traveling or even when I'm at home? And then it's freer because there's nobody telling me to do anything. But then it's also less free because then it gets very easy for me to just get lost without any sense
Mm-hmm.
of time about how long I have just not like been anywhere, how long I've not done anything that needs to be done also. And then that stress is also all over me. And then I like
Mm-hmm.
don't even feel like moving because there's so much and I'm still disconnected. Yeah, I think this is like a very, and then like the work that I have to do that's more urgent is the kind of work that I have to just sit and do.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I'm just sitting and all of this sitting, all of this inactivity, it's, yeah, that's where the disconnection is.
Yeah, so it does feel like I'm going to keep going back to that image and metaphor. It does feel like there's overwhelm, and I'm going back into that image of the seed ka phutna, because I feel like it goes well with you're away from home. It's not been that long. You're out on your own for the first time. There is a certain structure that is there in our parental home. We are comfort. We need that structure. That's how we are shaped, for good or bad. And then now you're on your own, and there is that pressure of your decision making, like you taking your own responsibility for creating a structure for yourself or creating your own path. Uh, and that definitely can and will be like an overwhelming experience. It's like literal transition phase. We humans adult only after we are 25. You look like around that age or maybe younger. So it's like biologically also you may be experiencing that overwhelm of like adulting and um the adulting is not just being able to have children or getting married. It's just sometimes we confuse that with adulting, but adulting is like navigating that overwhelm, and it's a process. It actually starts now in your 20s. So I think that, tell me if it feels right. You need to, it feels like you need to start really digging into your own strength for that structure, like from inside. Like even if you are softly moving, you're not entirely shapeless. You can't be entirely shapeless. Uh, Maybe as a child you are so shapeless, and then you are held in that container. I'm thinking about like really pushing into the floor. Why don't you try this with me? Create that strength coming from inside to stand up. We're going to do that slowly, pushing into the floor to lift up. Yeah, we are not shapeless. We are creating shapes and being with every shape that you create as you push into the floor with your arm and your leg, and we are going to stand up. We're going to stand up. So, and not just feet and palm, but also what are the other parts of your body that are relating with the floor? So, this mud is to hold you. We're going to have this mud like really open up from above and like hold you. That's the Only when we are, I want to say only when we are born and we die, we are covered in mud. You have to excuse these kids. They just hang around. So, so pressing into the floor. So you, in the phase of living, you're above the earth, you're above the mud, you're growing. So putting that pressure into the floor to stand up. These kids have no structure. They will move around and be around.
I love it.
So, but as you're adulting, you want that structure. So how do you come up and stand up? Do you want to cheer her? Come on, come on. Yes, yes, Mansi, yes. You have cheerleaders here. No, you're going to cheer her.
Hi guys, thank you. Oh,
She's going to stand up. See how she's going to stand up. Go for it, Mansi. Go for it. Go for it. And with all the madness that these two are creating in this situation, how to focus and come into standing. Stay standing. Stay standing. It's fine. Stay standing. Feel, feel. Yana, can you give me some time, please? Please go. Sorry. Thank you. Yes, walk around. Johan, please let me finish this call. Johan, how does it feel to walk around next floor? Please, 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 please. Yeah, I have to finish this call. It's rude. You said hi. Now let me finish this call. Oh, thank you.
um,
Thank you.
the connection of my feet to the ground seems very grounding, of course, and it's like giving me some something. And but then like this is feeling very structureless. This my top part.
Yeah. Why do you think you need structure in the top part?
Hmm. Because then I feel like it's again looking for something. It's
Okay.
yeah,
Looking for something. Say more.
like then I think that's why it starts to want to like stretch out and reach for something. And but
Yeah.
yeah, it's actually good to like
Yeah. Okay, there you go. You found something. You found, yeah, at this level also, you found something to take the energy from, interact with, like we are always interacting with the uh, ground. When you're finding your arms interacting with the wall.
yeah.
So that's giving some shape to your upper body,
Yeah.
right? When
And
you
yeah,
you
that pushing into anything is like that is sending something through here also, and then I can feel
feel.
all
Mm.
this. Yeah.
We will play there for a minute. And we slowly, when you're ready, can you let go of that and still feel that muscular tension, strength, resistance, even when you let go? What about creating those shapes from inside and whatever that you're feeling, can you let go and still continue to feel and make yourself feel that? Activate those muscles. And finding a shape in the standing that feels most appropriate for now, comfortable. Finding a shape that you can be in, own in. Maybe it's an aspirational shape. And whenever you're ready, you can tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I think earlier when I felt like without anything else, all of my torso was just feeling structureless. I think with some movement and then feeling right from my feet all the way till here, and then also being able to feel little bit, only little bit, but feel my spine all the way till the top of my head is feeling like okay, there it's not all just like this. There is
Mm,
that I'm standing on like one on top of each other,
mm,
feel it.
mm,
Then it took
mm,
some time to like, then my like just my hands, my
mm,
arms, especially my hands were feeling like
mm,
there is nothing for them. But
mm,
like with more movement, I can feel more of them. But then, like maybe if I keep them here, I can feel they also have
mm,
something.
mm.
Yeah.
It's like learning to walk again.
Yeah, I guess it's like learning that there's already things here that will hold me. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Even metaphorically relating it to what you described earlier about what's going on in your life, and that I understand as, a young person transitioning or finding their own way in the world. So that is also metaphorically, I feel, connects to learning to walk again.
Yeah. Or like walk at all, I guess. Because yeah, this is
Okay.
what feels like I have just spent the previous part of my life just trying to
Mm,
figure out who I am and
mm,
all that. And it always felt like it was a choice I can make. And I always just used to keep thinking about that choice.
mm,
There were so many choices just already being made while I was thinking.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And all of that has just been happening. And then there's been so much like of structure already being imposed on me from everywhere else. But right now it feels like, okay, now I actually get to be everything that I decided when I was thinking
Mm,
this, everything that I decided I want to be. Now I get to do that and be that.
mm.
And then it feels like it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I feel like I don't know how to do any of it. And then I just sit and I just freeze.
Mm,
Yeah. But yeah, like, and all of it is, I think, mostly in my back. That's the part
mm.
where it's the most, like especially my shoulder blades and my middle back. And that I think I've always felt like that has so much to do with my breathing also, because it's the same area. And I think like I can just feel my spine because I don't feel it. If I can just feel it also, it becomes so much better with the breath and with the middle back and the pain. All of it becomes so much better.
So, if we were doing like a regular dance movement therapy based session, now is the time I would say that, okay, between now and the next time we meet, make note of moments or situations or interactions when you feel that sort of breath getting stuck? And are there moments or situations or interactions when you feel like the breath is long? And we would go into moments and situations in your life, because you also spoke about now there is so much like happening, like, and your energy also changed, like so much that's happening. And then we would go into, according to what feels urgent and important, we would go into these different, so much different things that make the so much, and explore that. Sometimes some folks don't need to go that much into stuff, but sometimes it can be helpful, depending on so many things, to go into certain stuff and then go into, oh, this is like the main thing that may be important for me to address. So coming back to your question of like what is the therapy part of it? Like the therapy part of it is, um, yeah, that. What do you think? What do you feel? How do you feel about uh, how we started, where we are now, the questions that you had in mind? Um, the therapy also becomes a sort of structure. Like if I were to say, like, notice where your breath is short and where your breath is long. In that, and it's not just me. This is like, of course, notice where your breath is short, where breath is long is a given in this world. Like everybody knows short breath means anxiety, long breath means you're more connected. But what is different here is that I did not just give you at the head of the things. We went through this experience and you felt that in your body, that I still feel like it came from you. I still feel like this pain and whatever that I feel is also related to my short and long breath, like the shortness of breath. So then you have a more embodied, like it's coming from. So then there you are more available to, that experience. And then we both can go to that experience and see if that lower back pain has, uh, what emotional load may you be carrying here that is not, uh, what is that is like not letting you breathe fully. What is it? What anxiety? What are your exact fears that are that stuck there? That for the body, any fear may feel like survival threat. So yeah, sorry, I asked you and then I just went on it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think um, I love, I've like always wanted therapy. Like I've been to sessions and I've tried therapists, and then I've been like, I don't want anybody to like ask me to bring them problems and then we sit and solve them or anything. Like I just want to understand what's going on. That's all. I just want to know and understand. And I don't want it to be like a problem solution type of a thing. So, and I'm also like a big sucker for metaphors. I feel like I really, they
Mm-hmm.
make so much sense to me. So, this was really helpful in terms of that because it is completely embodied. So it's all coming from me, and then we're just going into whatever of this. There is no like structure that I have to come into and then be in. So that I really love. And I love that it's not going into like emotions just as emotions and then emotions in daily life and then like again those daily routine type of things as just one thing. It's so connected to the body, and it doesn't I love that it doesn't have to go into like specific instances to work. It can go there also, and it can be just about generally like everything.
Working with the non-verbal, like working in the non-verbal and not again going back to the verbal because anyway you're tired of all the headiness and thinking and then going back there and
And
doing.
yeah, like anyway, there's so much happening and there's so much disconnection that क्या emotions कहाँ feel हो रहे हैं, they're getting processed, not getting processed, none of that is there. So then to have to verbalize anything is
Mm,
to verbalize everything actually. That
mm,
is so, that's like another thing to have to climb and get to.
mm,
So this is, yeah, and like I love that because it's not limited to instances. I love that I have said so many things to you in this session that I can feel going back all the way to my childhood till now, and we can,
mm,
like, I can hold it and think about it and work with it all at once. Uh,
mm,
yeah, like I've not thought and remembered the fact that I have felt out of breath and stuff since I was a kid. Like I used to tell my parents or whatever that I don't feel like I can breathe properly. I need
mm,
to like, yeah, and yeah, I really like everything that comes out with this. And and that also helps me be more myself. So
mm. Yeah. Amazing. Your therapist, I'm gonna stop.